So today I'm going to introduce on a new unit, that is unit 4, that is 3D object representation. Okay. So here let's see what is this. In 3D object representation, we are representing a collection of surfaces. We are representing objects as a collection of surfaces. Okay. 3D object representation is divided into two categories. So first category is the boundary representation, or shortly we call it as BREPS. Okay, it describes a 3D object as a set of surfaces that separates the object interior from the environment. Okay. The next category is space partitioning representations. It is used to describe interior properties by partitioning the spatial region containing an object into a set of small, non-overlapping contiguous solids, usually cubes. So, we will be partitioning the spatial region which contains the object into a set of cubes. Okay, and we'll represent the objects in the form of different non-overlapping solids, that is cubes. So the most commonly used boundary representation for the 3D graphics object is a set of surface polygons that enclose the object interior. So many graphic systems use this method. So we have set of polygons stored for object description. So this simplifies and speeds up the surface rendering and display of objects, since all surfaces can be described with linear equations. Okay. For such model, we are representing wireframe model. So let's see what is a wireframe model. This model consists of vertex, edges and polygons. Edges means lines. So edges used to join vertex. We usually know that edges are used to join vertex. Then polygon is a combination of edges and vertices. Okay. So the edges can be straight or curved. This model is used to define computer models of parts. So especially for computer assisted drafting system, that is CAD systems. Okay. So wireframe models are skeleton of lines. We have each line has two endpoints. The visibility or appearance or look of the surface can be showed using wireframe. So let's see what is a wireframe. This is how a wireframe looks like. So figure shows a 3D object represented by polygons. Okay. Now we'll see what is a polygon table. Okay. While saying about polygon tables, we specify a polygon surface with a set of vertex coordinates and associated attribute parameters. Okay. So as information for each polygon is input, the data are placed into tables that are to be used in the subsequent processing, display and manipulation of the objects in a scene. Polygon data tables can be organized into two groups, that is geometric tables and attributes tables. So this geometric data tables contain vertex coordinates and parameters to identify the spatial orientation of the polygon surfaces. And the attribute table or the attribute information for an object includes parameters specifying the degree of transparency of the object and its surface reflectivity and texture characteristics. So a convenient organization for storing geometric data is to create three lists. Let's see what are the lists. First is a vertex table, an edge table and a polygon table. Let's see a figure based on this. So as shown in the figure, there are 5 vertices from V1 to V5. You can see 5 vertices. See V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. Okay. Each vertex stores X, Y, Z coordinate information, which is represented in the table as V1, X1, Y1, Z1. See, here you can see the vertex table with V1, X1, Y1, Z1, V2, X2, Y2, Z2 and V3, X3, Y3, Z3. Now, the edge table is used to store the edge information of polygon. So, edge E1 lies between vertex V1 and V2. See, here you can see edge E1 which is lying between vertex V1 and vertex V2. Okay. which is represented in the table as E1, V1, comma V2. See, E1, V1, comma V2, E2, V2, comma V3. Like that, we can represent each edge along with the corresponding vertices. Now, polygon surface table stores the number of surfaces present in the polygon. So, here from the figure, surface S1 is covered by edges E1, E2 and E3. See, surface S1 is covered by E1, E2 and E3, which can be represented in the polygon surface table as S, E1, E2 and E3, S2, E3, E4, E5 and E6. So, this is how we represent polygon tables. We use 3 tables to represent a polygon. Now next is how we can describe it using linear equations. So we have to know the plane equations first. So the equation for plane surface can be expressed as ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0, where x, y, z is any point on the plane and the coefficients a, b, c and d are constants describing the spatial properties of the plane. So we can obtain the values of A, B, C and D by solving a set of 3 plane equations using the coordinate values of 3 non-collinear points in the plane. So let us assume that 3 vertices of the plane are x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 and x3, y3, z3. Now let's form the equations. So let us solve the following simultaneous equations for ratios A by D, B by D and C by D. From that we get the values of A, B, C and D. So A by D explain x1 plus B by D y1 plus C by D z1 equal to -1. Likewise A by D x2 plus B by D y2 plus C by D z2 equal to -1. And also A by D x3 plus B by D y3 plus C by D z3 equal to -1. So to obtain these equations in determinant form, we can apply Cramer's rule to the equations. By applying Cramer's rule, we are forming it into a matrix format. So this is the matrix for A, matrix for B, matrix for C and matrix for D. Now expanding the determinants, we can write the calculations for the plane coefficients in the form, that is A is equal to y1 into z2 minus z1 plus y2 into z3 minus z1 plus y3 into z1 minus z2, and B is equal to z1 into x2 minus x3 plus z2 into x3 minus x1 plus z3 into x1 minus x2, and C is equal to x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2, and D is equal to minus x1 into y2 z3 minus y3 z2 minus x2 into y3 z1 minus y1 z3 minus x3 into y1 z2 minus y2 z1. So likewise, we have formed all the plane equations for all the 4 constants A, B, C and D. So we can say that if ax plus by plus zz plus d not equal to 0 means the point is not on the plane. And if it is less than 0 means the point is inside the surface, and if it is greater than 0 means the point is outside the surface. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is polygon meshes. Okay. So 3D surfaces and solids can be approximated by a set of polygonal and line elements. Such surfaces are called polygonal meshes. So in polygon mesh, each edge is shared by at most 2 polygons. Okay. The set of polygons or faces together form the skin of the object. Okay. Now one type of polygon mesh is the triangle strip. So this function produces n-2 connected strings. Let's see the figure. This is how a triangle mesh strip looks like. The first figure contains 8 triangle and 10 vertices. The second figure contains 4 triangle and 6 vertices. Okay. Then the second representation, another similar function is the quadrilateral mesh, which generates a mesh of n-1 by m-1 quadrilaterals. Okay. Now we'll see the figure for quadrilateral mesh. See. This contains 12 quadrilaterals, okay, which can represent a polygon using 12 quadrilateral. Okay. Advantages: it can be used to model almost any object. Any objects can be modeled using a triangle strip or quadrilateral mesh. Okay. Not only this, there are some other forms also. Then they are easy to represent as a collection of vertices. Then they are easy to transform. They are easy to draw on computer screen also. Now, disadvantages include curved surfaces can only be approximately described. Okay. It is difficult to simulate some type of objects like hair or liquid. We cannot simulate such objects using polygon meshes. Thank you so much. I hope today's class was understandable. Thank you.